Good evening to you all. Good evening to you all. My name is Elisha Kitsenga from Zimbabwe, Qualified Information Systems Auditor. In my presentation today, I'm going to take you through open source project governance and management practices. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much. I'm really delighted to have you during my presentation. Here on my agenda, I only have 4 items on my agenda, which include, firstly, we're going to talk about the brief introduction to open project governance and management, then open source project management practices, then open source project management structure, then project management roles and responsibility. You're going to learn a lot from this presentation, let me assure you, just because firstly you're going to learn about the common objectives for business organization, what the business organization objectives are all about. Then you are going to learn about, on the second item, the application of knowledge, skills, tools and techniques. Then thirdly, you're going to learn about the outline of the authority and control of open source. Then lastly, you're going to learn more about the roles and responsibility of groups or individuals involved in open source project management. So just clippings for me as I go on deeper into the project management governance and project governance and management. Open source project portfolio or program management structure, it assists in identifying common objectives for the business organization, identifying and managing risk, identifying resource connections. That open source project portfolio or program management. It's all about identifying common objective, business organization, identifying managing risk, and also resource connections. That's what it's all about, open source project governance management. Then we go on to open source projects require. What does the process open source projects requires? It doesn't require much. As you can see, it just requires the governance structures, how the governance structures will look like. As you know, everyone knows what the governance structures is all about. Governance structures is all about who is doing what and who is responsible for what and who is what. That the governance structure. Simply it includes the guys from sales, it includes the who is in top, like the CEO, who is the project manager, who is what. That's what you're going to learn more, like in the open source project. That's what it requires. Then we go on to the policies and procedures. We need to look into the policies and procedures so that we produce the quality products. In this instance, we are going to produce a coronavirus drug, for example. So just feel delighted to be with me as I take you through this flight. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to introduce to you the policies and procedures. We're going to learn about the processes, the policies and procedures, and lastly, we're going to learn about the mechanism to show strategic and tactical alignment. What that strategic and tactical alignment? Then we move on to what is open source governance structures. Involve. It should involve the project and the functional line organization. What is the project all about? The project is something that we need to do. And the functional line organization, as I said about the governance, the governing structure. The structure is being linked into the organization. It should be driven by the business case, what the business case is all about. The business case is a document that we have in open source environment that can lead us through the project, how the project should go, like how the project should be like how the project should be like. That business case is what's going to be lead us through. Then the business case, you need to we need to continuously review it so that we can see if the benefits are being achieved, if the benefits are not being lost, or we are not doing the right thing. That thing, it governs us. So what are the officers governance? We have three basic items we need to look at. We've got the hard factors, we've got the soft factors, we've got the environment factors. As you can see, hard factors. Hard factors will be looking at the deliverables. What are the deliverables? The quality. What quality of the product we need to come up with during this instance of creating a coronavirus drug? The quality, cost. How much does it cost to produce it? How much does it cost afterward to distribute to the end users? And also the deadlines. We need to look at the deadline. Just because we are working under deadlines, as you can see, the corona has devastated the whole world. It is at standstill. We can't travel as we used to do before freely. There's corona, and we need to come up with something. So that's what we need to be followed. The hard factors, the deliverables first. We need to look at the quality, we need to look at the cost, we need to look at the deadline. Then we also move to soft factors. What are the soft factors? Soft factors are team dynamics. If you've got a team, experienced team, those are the soft factors we need to look into consideration. The team dynamics, the conflict resolution. How do we resolve the conflict between the management and the other department, functional heads, functional departments? We need to look into it, and also the leadership issues. If the leadership issue, is it intact or is it loose? That's what we need to look at it again, and also some cultural differences. We look at the cultural differences. Sometimes my team might be made up of people from different cultures. Some might be Asian, some be Africans like me, some might be Europeans, some might be white, and we need to look into it one. Not excluding the leadership issues, how the leader is composed of, and is the leader capable of taking control of that project? Is the leadership capable of moving the project to the production, and also the success status? Then we go on to the environmental factors. What are those environmental factors? Environmental factors include the political and power issues. We need to look at politics. We need to look at the government. But the government has the power to push us through whatever we want to do, or or else it might be affected by the political issues. Like a certain party might be campaigning using your project. Just for example, it's not what happening. You might expect something. Then we go on to the managing the stakeholder expectation. That one is most important thing. We need to manage the stakeholders expectation. What does stakeholders require us to do? They might require us to produce a small drug, small dosage like this, or bigger like this. Those are the expectations. Because they are the guys who are responsible for giving us the platform to work on something. The stakeholders, and also larger ethical and social issues surrounding the open source project. We need to really look at the social, ethical, and social issues. Is there any is there any implicit problem that might arise, or social problem that might arise when the product is being introduced to the society? Then we move on to open source project management, deals with the size and complexity of business operation. We need to look at the size of our project. The size of our project might be a small one or big one, and how complex is it? It might be complex sometimes. We might need so many engineers, we need this and this and this and that. We might need 2 or 3 project managers. That's how the size and complexity. We need to look at it whenever we are developing the open source project. Then we've got some roles and responsibility. It may be structured or restructured or grouped, taking into consideration segregation of duties. We can't let someone do all jack of all trades. There's nothing like that when we are in open source project development. We need to observe the segregation of duties, the roles and responsibilities which is being performed by each and every one of us. We don't need someone to override. We don't just because it will affect the product delivery, it will affect the whole process, it will motivate like the morale. It can lead to bugs when we are programming. So segregation of duties is important in the open source project governance. Then the open source project management practice. Project management. Project, what is that project management all about? Maybe, I don't know. But according to what I know, it is the knowledge and skills and techniques. Knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques that are being applied to broad range of activities to achieve stated objectives such as meeting the defined user requirements, budget, deadline for an open source project, as you can see. So whenever we are doing open source project, we need to look at the project management, which is the knowledge. Do we have the knowledge of what we want to do? Do we have the skills? Do we have the tools? Do we have techniques? Do we have the broad range of activity? Do we have the techniques so that the project that include the broad range of activities to achieve the stated objectives, such as meeting the defined user requirements? We need to take into that so that just because we will be working under the user requirements, we need to observe also the budget and also the deadline for, for that project. It is a business process in a project-oriented organization. A project-oriented organization is simply a business organization that being driven by a certain project that is happening, which has got this project charter. The project charter is the document that, like the blue, is the framework that we use in the whole process, in the production, whatever we're going to produce. Then we've got the project, the management process. We've got 5 steps in project management process. Firstly, we've got initiating. Initiating is just coming up with the idea, just brainstorming, that initiating process. After initiating, we need to produce a coronavirus. Just because corona COVID-19 have been a problem throughout the world. So we need to initiate an idea. After we have initiated an idea, we go on to planning. We need to plan how are we going to achieve our desired purposes, our desired goals. After that, the we execute the project. During the execution process, we need the skills and the knowledge which I have mentioned earlier on. We need to control the project. We need to control. There's something which called scope creep, where we lose the whole control of the project we are doing. What is wrong? What is not expected? That scope creep. Then we go on to the monitoring. We need to keep on monitoring the project, monitoring using the project charter and also the project schedules. We need to monitor. Are we still in line? Are we still within the expectation that we need to be expected? And after that, after monitoring everything went well, was gone well, we need to close the project. Closing the project after fulfilling desired the desired purpose, like the user requirement. We need to close the project. That's the whole process: the initiating, planning, executing, controlling, and closing the project. That are 6 steps that have been involved when the project is being done. Project management structure. What is it? Project management. We've got 3 open source project management structures that we can implement in whatever organization we are. Firstly, we've got the functional structured organization. What is it? What's the functional organization structure? It is when the project manager has got the staff function, but he has got no formal management authority. He's not given authority to take care of them. That was functional. That means a certain department is functioning, certain is functioning, certain is functioning. So the department will be contributing immensely in the product in the production of the product or the coming up of certain project. So the project manager is not of great use in that organization. Then we've got the project structured organization, where the project manager has got the formal authority and the who is responsible for the budgets and the schedules in the team. The project manager chooses the team you want to work with, and also is given the budget and the schedules to work on. We've got the matrix structured project organization, where management authority is shared between the project manager and department heads, where the department heads might have some power at some time, the project manager might have some power. That's what this matrix structured project organization need to be like. Then we've got management roles and responsibilities. As I said earlier on, I need to take you through all the management roles and responsibility for open source project management. Firstly, we've got the project steering committee. The project steering committee has got overall DCE overall for the direction and appropriate representation, responsible for the deliverables, cost, and schedules. The project steering committee is something like all the departments will contribute, each and every one person will go on to protect the certain project that have been called upon. The steering committee performs reviews, emergent meeting. They are responsible for reviewing whatever is happening, and also doing a meeting when something is going wrong. It serves as the coordination in the first. They are advisors to the project, just because it's made up of the whole organization, of the whole open source community, from the board, from the functional heads, from whatever department or function that have interest in the project, it will make up the steering committee. It takes corrective action, progress, and issues are escalated. They are responsible for whenever there is something which is not well. They are responsible for correcting it and also making the possible advancement. We've got the senior management. Senior management is committed to approve necessary resources. We need them to approve the resources for the budget. Then the project sponsor is responsible for funding, because he knows the critical success factors and metrics for measuring success of the project. As project sponsor, because the project sponsor is also responsible for the data and application portion. He's responsible for data. He's the one who is responsible for taking the project after it's been done, it's been finished or it's been completed. Then with user management assumes the ownership and resulting system, allocates qualified team reps, participates in the process design, system requirement definition, test case. As you can see, the user management knows what the user. In this case of coronavirus, the user management knows what the patients want. So that's why when it comes to design, they, they are involved. When it comes to system requirement definition, they are involved. The test case, when we are testing the drug or whatever it is, they are, or test case development. If you are developing a plan to test that, they are involved, and also the acceptance of the product. Without them, we won't be going anywhere. Just because there's no one to give us the acceptance testing, do the testing if the project is what we want as per user requirements, and also user training. They also respond for user training. How are we going to use this track? How are we going to administer it? Then we've got user project team. User project team there. These are the subject matter experts. It's a complete the assigned task, communicates them, and works according to the local standard. This user project team. That's because they know much a lot about the project. Then we've got on the project manager. Project manager is responsible for day-to-day management and leadership, facilitate the definition of the project, manage and control activities via the project schedule. That's the project manager's job. Then he is also responsible for we've got the quality assurance team. Quality assurance team reviews the results and deliverables in each phase and confirms compliance with the requirements. The quality assurance team, we need them to guide us through where and to avoid later cause of whatever it is. And they are involved in the process-based activities. Whenever stage you are, the process acquiring assurance team should always to come and certify if each phase conforms to the compliance and the requirement that we have set from the beginning. With system development management. System development, they offer technical support to the hardware and software. As you can see, they provide assurance that these things they work according to what we've planned. Then we go on to the system development project team. This one completes and communicates and works with the local standard, the system development team. Then we go on to the security officer, security team. Security team, the effective protection and data classification, corporate and security policies and procedures. They are responsible for safeguarding the corporate security policies and procedures as well as data classification. Because on data we have the personal identifiable data, which we don't need to be exposed anyhow just because it's sensitive data. So the security team is responsible for identifying such sensitive data. The reviews security team test plan. They also review this test plan and report prior implementations. System security effectivity. They also look at the system security effective. How effective is the system? We developing certain system and also we report the implementation in the test plans. The information system security engineering team. This one, this one applies specific and engineering to scientific and engineering expert to minimize security vulnerability and contain the risk. As you can see, the information security team, engineering team, they are responsible for applying scientific and engineering instrument engineering technicalities in whatever we are going to do so that we can minimize the vulnerability and contain the risk. It's also able for defining the needs, requirements, architectures, and design principles for both defense and broad security. They are also responsible for that, for the defense and broad security issues. That is, thank you so much. Thank you. Siawang Attend.